gifters, we can quite often end up with lots of extra spare envelopes. Not quite sure how, because we make cards, but I always seem to have more envelopes lying around than I do cards. So let's look at a creative way of using these up. Dawn has suggested that we create an envelope journal. So we're to use envelopes, one paper pack, one stamp set. This should be fun. So shall we just get started? For some reason, I'm randomly showing you my dirty fingers. It's because I was filming this the same day that I was filming the stencil video. So if you want to know why the fingers are green, pop on over and give that video a wee check. So I have a feeling I'm going to be on the naughty step quite a lot this time. So it started with the fact that I really wanted cream envelopes because I wanted to use this chocolate and marshmallow set, and the envelopes that I found were huge and too big for the paper set. But the envelopes that I found were about the right size, had these gorgeous little cards that kind of had this strange flap, which in my defense, and I'm going to try and get away with, looks like an envelope. It's kind of like an unsealed envelope. So anyway, I'm going with that, and we'll see whether I end up on the naughty step. I have a distinct feeling that that's going to happen today. I'm going to make lots of excuses along the way, in the hopes that Dawn will let me off. But we'll see how we go. I think I may have pushed it slightly too far. So I am taking this envelope style card and backing it to two actual envelopes. And then I took another one of these cards and I am sort of gluing down the sides so that we create a little bit of a pocket, and then gluing that card to the bottom flap of the original card. So we're going to have, as we open the journal, we're going to have this thing that sort of unfolds. Now, I'm not very good at making envelope journals, and Dawn's much better. So all of this jiggery pokery that I'm doing now to make it work, Dawn won't have done that because hers will have folded beautifully because she'd have measured it. Whereas I'm just sort of moving the folds of the envelopes to make it fit. Once I had got that all together, I decided to stick another one of these envelope style cards on the back. Do you think if I keep saying envelope style cards often enough that Dawn will believe me? That's the plan. So yeah, I kind of put that, for some reason I'm pausing and thinking about it for a moment there. I put that to the back, and then I am going to go through my papers. My head and my glasses for some bizarre reason. You needed to see that. Obviously failed to take that out in the editing stage. Whoopsie. I love these papers. They're a very different colour palette for me. Not my normal colour palette. I sent them to Dawn, and of course Dawn loved them because Dawn loves a dusky pink palette. But I love them. They have rapidly become my new favourite. I think I've gone through like two packs of them already. So in each paper section that I'm about to glue down, I do what I just showed you, where I inked around the edges using antique linen just to give a little bit of an edge. But because a lot of this video would become very repetitive if I showed you inking around every single paper that I've cut, I'm just showing you the ones. And then we're going to gradually build up the journals. But basically at this stage, I am just going through the journal that I have made and adding mats of paper to it all, and I'll come back to the decorating later. Just adding a little bit of this brown paper onto the flap of this envelope. And just to add a little bit of contrast. Now, I'm not sure if Dawn has any plans for this journal. I have a feeling that she has almost finished the Dawn and Julia Create journal. I have not almost finished mine. So I reckon Dawn's going to be using her new envelope journal for future Dawn and Julia Creates. I could be wrong, but I reckon that's possibly her plan. My journal's not huge. So that is part of a strategy plan, because it means that I've got a chance to catch up with my other journal. If that's her future plan, I could be wrong, but I reckon she'll have a plan. Dawn always has a plan. So in the inside of the journal, I am just adding a bit more paper. I did punch out a hole in that particular flap there, just because it is a pocket, so it just make it easier to get into. So once I had covered all the various elements of the journal, I've then gone back into decorate. Now, here is another part that I think I might end up on the naughty step for. Dawn's instructions were to use one paper kit. Now I still have the message and it says kit. I'm pretty sure she meant paper pad, but the wording in the text definitely said kit. Now, to me, a kit has extra little elements. For example, ephemera. So that's what I'm saying. I am using my one papercraft kit and using the ephemera from said kit to decorate my envelope journal. I'm really pushing it. Oh, honestly. I love you, Dawn. But yeah, I could we'll not talk about the naughty step, then I might not end up there. So using my papercraft kit, I have got these lovely pieces of ephemera from the Mocha Mix ephemera pack that goes beautifully with the chocolate and marshmallow papers. And I'm using the various elements of the ephemera just to decorate up the journal. Now, she did also say we could have one stamp set, and I could have used the stamp set and stamped out a whole load of these cups, and I could have paper pieced them with matching papers. But as usual, I'm kind of running a bit short on time because I'm having to film this in advance, and I'm heading down south tomorrow for a craft workshop. So once again, I'm sort of coming in by the skin of my teeth, hence why I am sort of stretching the rules a little bit, but I'm hoping that Dawn won't notice. So shh. Don't tell her. But look how beautifully these elements are going with the paper. It's almost like they were a kit and they were made to go together. So I'm just kind of gradually taking different bits and pieces that I think will coordinate. It's trying to make sure that each page looks good in its own right, but also you have an overall cohesive look between the whole journal and book. So you can see there that cutaway part that just allows me to kind of put something in there. So if Dawn does have another use for this planned, I do have scope for creativity because I can make little cards and bits and pieces that could pull out of these various pockets. And there's another pocket on that side there with the striped paper as well. And there's also another pocket that I didn't address whilst doing this particular run through. So I'm just cutting down that brown paper so that it matches the same on the other side. And I decided to keep this other side quite simple actually, just using a couple of the hearts. So I'm just kind of gluing that down. It's amazing when you work with a kit that works together really well and colour coordinates. Sometimes something like a envelope journal can maybe seem a little bit daunting. There's so much, but if you stick to a paper pack, then you can get a beautiful cohesive look, and that's what's really good about these limited challenges. So this particular card that I put on top of each other, there's already a natural pocket within it. There's a pocket behind that actual paper and into the scallop of the card, but I end up making another pocket as well. So as I say, I do have 3 extra pockets that if we do something with in future, that I have a little bit of scope. But I'm going to make another pocket, and I'm just going to again use my paper punch just to cut a sort of semicircle in there. And I want to actually put some of the ephemera pieces in this pocket, so I need to make sure the pocket is a little bit 3D. So I've taken some scrap pieces of paper and that match the paper of the pocket, and I'm literally just folding it, cutting it to size and folding it in half, and just connecting the pieces together. And what that does is it's just going to create a little bit of give in the pocket. So I'm just gluing down one side of those folded pieces against the actual pocket. And once I've done that, I will put glue on the other side and then stick it into the envelope journal. But this is a great wee tip because it just gives a little bit of give when you're working in a project like this, so it's not as difficult to get things in and out of the pockets as required. So as I mentioned before, just adding a little bit of glue into that, and yeah, that's it. So as I say, Dawn's made lots of envelope journals. She's very good at making journals, so I'm sure that hers will be very intricate, very inspiring. She'll have lots of pockets, lots of tuck spots, and it'll be amazing. So if you kind of probably want to see what an envelope journal should really be, I think mine's a bit more of a kind of like an elaborate card or a foldy outy thingy. I'm not quite sure that it completely ticks the box for envelope journal, but you know, gave it my best shot. Because it's me, we have to add doodling absolutely everywhere. Because we've got these gorgeous chocolate and marshmallow colours, I'm actually using a brown gel pen instead of my usual black pen. I just think it suits the overall project an awful lot better, having that sort of slightly toned down colour. I think it looks a little bit better. So doing a couple of things, just doing my usual squiggly border, and then on some of the elements where we've got these little stripes as a feature of the page, I'm just doing little like cross stitch style things so it looks like we've stitched it onto the page. That's one of my favourite looks to do. So again, you can see that these two pages coordinate beautifully together, and as I say, that's what I was really trying to achieve, that each page looked good in its own right, but however you folded it together, the folds looked good as well. So more doodling, more doodling. I'm obsessed by doodling. I'm finally getting the stamp set out. So this is the stamp set, as I said, I could have used, and I could have made the embellishments from that, but I cheated. So I do apologise. I can see a naughty step video coming. I've never had to do it. Oh, actually I did do a naughty step video once. It was a green page. Dawn made me do a green page. Yeah, but I haven't done one since, but I feel that I may have pushed it this time. So just still use the stamp set to add the sentiments, and then this is me just kind of showing the various folds of this little envelope journal. It's quite simple. I think this would actually make a really nice gift card as opposed to a journal. I think you could have like a little gift card to some coffee vouchers or a coffee shop, then possibly like a little coffee sachet and one of the little fold up things, and a little, I don't know, I think you could have lots of like little treats in it, little vouchers and things, but it's a slightly more creative way of giving it. So I think I would kind of use that as some sort of really, really elaborate gift card. But that's not what I was asked to make. So it's an envelope journal. Anyway, please do pop across to Dawn because you will see what an envelope journal should be, and one that's not been cheated on. Take care, and we'll see you later.